Hey, it's Randy from Funeral Funds of America. In this video, I'm going to share with you the actual pricing for $20,000 worth of burial, cremation, final expense, life insurance, or funeral funds for a 54-year-old female. Now, first thing I suggest is go directly to our website at funeralfunds.com and just select the state that you live in. We are licensed in all 50 states, by the way, and select the coverage amount, put your birthday in there, fill out the rest of the info. You'll be taken to a page that's going to show you all the best insurance companies with all the lowest rates that you may qualify for based off your age, gender, and the state that you live in. It's pretty terrific. You can also call us at 888-862-9456. One of our agents can help you out over the phone and answer any questions you have. Now, one of the first things we would recommend to a 54-year-old female considering $20,000 worth of insurance is, is that $20,000 going to be appropriate for your final expense needs? Now, typically that final expense needs would be either a cremation or a burial. So let's start with cremation. The average cost of a cremation right now in the United States is between $1,000 to $2,000. That's if you come home in a cardboard box or an urn. If you're going to have some sort of ceremony in addition to the cremation, like a celebration of life or remembrance ceremony, that's probably going to get it up to around $3,500, $4,500, depending on the part of the country you live. As far as coverage amounts, for that cremation where you'd come home in a cardboard box or an urn, we would typically recommend around $5,000 to $7,000 worth of coverage. And you might be asking yourself, well, Randy, he said it's going to be $2,000 for the cremation. Why are we looking at $5,000 for the actual policy itself? Well, the reason is inflation. Our 54-year-old female probably wants to live to 64, 74, 84, and we know the pricing will get higher over time just due to inflation. So we build in a little extra coverage than actually what's needed, but by doing so, we actually lock it into a younger age, so we get that lower rate. So that protects it from inflation, but also we protect it in a little on the front side of the policy too, just in case you didn't live as long as you thought. Maybe there were some extra bills, maybe some medical bills, some credit card bills. There's a little bit of extra money on the front end to pay that off. So we protect long-term against inflation and short-term against maybe just some other bills that might need to be taken care of. Now, as far as that cremation with the ceremony, we would typically recommend around maybe $7,000 to $10,000. Again, inflation-proofing the plan for the long term, but also providing some extra money in the short term, just in case we don't live as long as we think we do. Now, for a burial, the average cost of a burial right now in the United States is right around $10,000. It's hard to imagine if you walked into a funeral home with a $10,000 check that they wouldn't accept that. And if they didn't, you could just walk out the door and walk 2 blocks down the road to their competition, and I'm sure they would. But just understand, $10,000 is not going to be a fancy funeral. That's kind of what the cost of it is today. And if you get $10,000, you're not inflation-proofing that policy at all. You are taking care of your most immediate needs, and some people do that. The people that we help often are on a fixed or limited income, and they may need to start with the $10,000. And then we can revisit that in the coming years and perhaps add more coverage to get that up a little bit. It takes care of their most immediate need right off the bat. But most of the people we're helping are getting anywhere from between $10,000, $15,000, and $20,000. Obviously, $20,000 inflation proofs your plan more than $15,000. But most important thing is, number one, get the insurance. Number two, make sure it fits your budget. And getting that first day coverage is so important. Now, sometimes people will say, hey, I want to leave a bunch of money behind for my kids. I want to get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. And then they hear the price of $50,000 and they may be on a fixed or limited income and they go, oh, I can't do that. I'm not going to do anything at all. To which at that point, we actually recommend that they look at covering their final expense needs first because they are going to die. If they don't get any coverage, their kids are going to have to pay for this, probably go on their credit cards, pay 26% interest. And, it's just a tough situation for the kids. So what we would typically recommend is getting a final expense policy just to take care of your burial or cremation. And then at some point in the future, we can always come back and get a policy that would directly go to the children. And it's a nice way to split those things up. It's kind of a win-win situation for folks. Now, one thing we always recommend you get is first day coverage or benefits. We never recommend those plans with 2-year waiting periods. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. But yeah, what first day coverage means is that hypothetically, if your plan were issued and approved today and you passed away tomorrow, the insurance company would have to write that check for $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, whatever it is. That's the best coverage. That's going to be the lowest pricing. Now, sometimes people will say, well, yeah, Randy, I do like that first day coverage, but I'm not in the best of health, and I know those policies ask health questions, so what do? And I say, hey, that's our problem, not your problem, at least from an insurance standpoint. And that's why we work with so many different insurance companies, because they all ask different health questions. They all have different underwriting. And right now, we're getting around 95% of the people we help are getting first day coverage or benefits. So we're terrific at what we do there. Really, the only reason you wouldn't qualify for first day coverage is if you waited too long and you had some significant health issues going on. Maybe you had a terminal illness that you were going to pass away in the next 12 months, or maybe you had dementia, or you were on dialysis or in a hospital or in a nursing home. If that were the case, we'd typically refer you to a different insurance company. And it seems like on a weekly basis, we get somebody that will call us up and say, hey, we had a family member pass away this last week. They didn't have insurance. We don't have any money. The body's down at the funeral home. The funeral director's not going to do anything until he gets money in his hands. So we need to get this insurance right away so we can get a check issued from the insurance company so we can pay the funeral home director. We have to let them know there's no company in the United States that's going to offer a policy on a dead person. You actually have to be alive to qualify for this insurance. And it's really sad that they lost a family member, but it's really sad, like 2x sad, 2 times as sad, that their family member, they didn't have this insurance. They knew they were going to die someday. They probably looked at this insurance and they probably thought, I'll get it someday. And then they just kept procrastinating. And then one day they just went and died. And now their family's left with this burden that has to be paid. And really, in most cases, they're going to have to put it on their credit card. And that's going to be, 26% interest rate. And it's going to take them years to pay on average. So, just what a terrible legacy to leave behind. Don't be that person. Just get this person, get this insurance. This insurance is affordable. And if you need to start smaller, you can always start smaller and add more coverage later. But don't leave that legacy behind. That's a tough one. So one thing we don't recommend, as I mentioned, was 2-year waiting periods. You may not know this. Colonial Penn, their $9.95 plan, that's a 2-year waiting period plan. Yeah, we don't recommend that at all. Yuck. Yeah. But I mean, Colonial Penn's, I think, fairly well known just because, they advertise so much. I think they've got TV commercials like playing every 7 minutes on the television. Yeah. But they're not the only 2-year waiting period company out. There's other companies too, like Mutual of Omaha, the United of Omaha line, AIG, Gerber. Gosh, so many other insurance companies out there. And some of these companies have done an amazing job of convincing the American public that if you're over age 50, the only thing you qualify for is a plan with a 2-year waiting period, to which we always go, don't believe such nonsense, because we help people with first day coverage all day long. Now, our 54-year-old female probably just got done watching one of those Colonial Penn commercials, and she's probably like impressed, like, oh my gosh, that sounds so impressive. I'm probably going to get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, maybe even $50,000 for only $9.95 because I'm only 54 years old. And then she talks with the Colonial Penn agent or goes on their website and looks at it like we're doing for you here, sees that a 54-year-old female, 1 unit of coverage, that's only $9.95, is only going to pay out $1,802. Now, that's probably enough to pay for a cremation where you come home in a cardboard box or an urn, except for one thing. The policy's not going to pay out for 2 years because it's got a 2-year waiting period. Yeah, so you got to watch it. You got to be a smart consumer. And there's some people would say that, the companies that offer these teaser rates, these really low rates, they would say that, they actually advertise those rates and they don't want you to buy that plan. They don't want you to get the 1802. What they're trying to do is get your info, get you in their sales funnel, and then when they get you on the phone, they'll happily show you how minimal the coverage is and then try to upsell you into higher levels of coverage that's vastly more profitable for them. So we would never say that Colonial Penn would do anything like that, but some people are fairly convinced of that, and I guess you can make your own determination based on the fact that $9.95 is only going to buy you $1,802. But we're trying to get $20,000 out of this thing. So Let's see as close as we can come to $20,000. Colonial Penn won't let you buy $20,000 on the nose for a 54-year-old female, simply because their per unit pricing, how they do it. You don't buy it by coverage amount, you buy it per unit. What would that be? Let's see, 12 units. No, it looks like we go down to 11 units. Yeah, so, geez, you can't even get 20,000. So you're going to have to settle between 11 units, and that's going to be 19,000 here, or 12 units, which is 21. So I guess if we want at least 20,000, we're going to have to go 12. We're going to have to overpay. Colonial Penn's going to make us overpay, I guess. But look at that. That's $21,624. That's going to be $120 a month. So let's take a look at what $20,000 would be with the first day coverage company here. So $20,000 for a female, age 54, right there. Get quote. Let's go back up and look again, because it's going to be $120 here. And I'm going to go and show you this again, because you're not going to believe me. $20,000 there is only $48.66. So ask yourself, would you rather get $20,000 for $48.60, or would you rather get what Colonial Penn's offering for $120 rounded up? $120. Oh my gosh. Colonial Penn's going to be like right around $72 more than this first day coverage. This level here, when it says level, that means first day coverage. That's what you want. Yes. But yeah, like $72 more. I'm just going to round the number for easy math. But yeah, Colonial Penn's going to, let's say it's $70, not 72. So it's easier math for me. So $70 a month times 12 months, that's going to be right around $840. And if our 54-year-old female makes it to age 64, 10 years, you'll have overpaid Colonial Penn right around $8,400 more. Why on earth would you ever do that? Why on earth would you give an insurance company an extra $8,400 over the next 10 years? That's just over the next 10 years. That's assuming you don't go 20 years and pay $16,800 roughly. Yikes. Why would you do that? Man, I tell you what, you need to be a smart consumer. If you're not a smart consumer, let us help you be a smart consumer. But we think our position is that money is a lot better sitting in your bank account than in an insurance company's bank account. So yeah, let us help you and let us save you a lot of money. Let's look at some other companies here though. 48, let's see. Well, here's one, Lumico, they're level coverage, but they're like $22 more a month. I'm going to round that to $20. So $20 a month times 12 months is going to be $240 a year, times 10 years, age 54 female gets up to 64. You'd overpay roughly around $2,400. Why? Why would you ever, just because you weren't educated in insurance, I guess, pay $2,400 more over the next 10 years when you could have that money sitting in your bank account and not giving that to an insurance company to deposit into their bank account? Yeah, why would you do that? Let's look at a couple other companies here. Maybe. Oh, here's one. Lincoln Heritage. So they're a fine company, I guess, but look at those rates. Ouch, high. Yeah, and then level coverage here. So that's good, but yeah, $74. So they're so high, aren't they? And the reason is they've got a deal where when you pass away, they will supposedly call 2-3 different funeral homes to get the lowest rates, and then maybe do some other things. But they charge for that. So that's roughly $25 more a month. You're going to overpay that every month for the rest of your life. So if you want Lincoln Heritage, you're going to overpay $25 a month. So $25 a month times 12 months is an extra $300 a year you would be paying. And then if that was 10 years, our 54-year-old female is now 64, you have overpaid right around $3,000 roundabout. So you got to ask yourself, is it worth paying an insurance company an extra $3,000 to make 2 or 3 phone calls and then maybe do a couple of other things that maybe only take an hour or so to do? Most people would say that's a pretty dang good payday for the insurance company, around $3,000 an hour. We recommend you don't do that. We recommend You allow us to help you get the lowest price here. And then what we do is we offer a free funeral and estate planning guide, free of charge. You just download that off our website. Once you download it, you print it, and then once it's printed, you fill it out. You write in who gets what goes where, and what you want to happen after you're gone. And then when you're done, you keep that with your insurance policy. And that way, when you do pass away, your family member will have those two documents, and they will know that you protected them financially with the insurance, but you also protected them emotionally with the funeral and estate planning guide. Because all you'll have to do is open that funeral and estate planning guide and just start reading. And they will know exactly what to do. And they will know that you not only loved and protected them in life, but you loved and protected them one last time in death, exactly at a time when they needed you most, when you wouldn't be around. What a wonderful legacy to leave behind. And we can help you leave that legacy. So go to funeralfunds.com. We've got a special quote for our YouTube viewers, funeralfunds.com/YouTube. You can actually get the best rates and most discounts there. It's terrific. Take full advantage of that. You can see all the rates. And you can call us at 888-862-9456. One of our agents can help you out with rates or answer any questions. But if you've got an existing policy and you want to see if we can actually save you money on it, or you want to add coverage to that, we can help you out with that. If you are looking for brand new coverage or just have some questions about what you might qualify for or what your rates might be, we can help you out with that. But we look forward to that day where we can help you get the most amount of coverage for the least amount of money. We will be blessed to help you with that at some point in the future. Until that day comes, you stay safe, you take care, you have a nice day. Bye-bye.